As dawn breaks and the world exhales its first breath of life, the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid rises from the shadows like a promise carved in carbon fiber. It is more than a machine. It is the rebirth of a legend, the echo of the P1 spirit reimagined for a new era. Its silhouette slices through the morning mist, its presence silent yet undeniable. A masterpiece sculpted for those who don't chase speed, but destiny. This is where art meets engineering, where ambition becomes motion, and where the impossible finds a new name.
The first sight of the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid feels like witnessing speed before it happens. Its body is a living sculpture of tension and release. Every line pushes forward. Every angle channels force. The front fascia wears a sharpened expression, a predatory calm, framed by sweeping LED blades that cut into the air like strokes of futuristic calligraphy. The carbon fiber skin reflects the world around it with a mirror-like clarity, creating a dance of light that shifts with every breath of wind. It stands low, coiled, and ready, as if the road itself bends in anticipation. Even at rest, it feels like the car is whispering to the horizon, daring it to keep up.
From the side, the car reveals its aerodynamic philosophy, a harmony of aggression and elegance. The doors arc upward in a dramatic anhedral wing shape, exposing the flowing channels sculpted to guide air with surgical precision. Deep cuts along the flanks pull in wind as if feeding the hybrid heart beneath. The roofline drips backward in a single seamless stroke, tapering into a muscular rear posture that promises power beyond comprehension. Even the mirrors, shaped like aerodynamic blades, contribute to the symphony of airflow. In the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid, nothing exists without purpose. Every curve is a solution, every angle a function.
Step behind it, and you witness dominance sculpted into reality. The rear of the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid is a cathedral of carbon, where structure and beauty merge. The active wing rests like a blade waiting to strike. Beneath it, a glowing mesh exposes the hybrid powertrain's breathing chambers, the fusion of fire and electricity. The taillights trace a thin, elegant signature, almost floating within the sculpted darkness of the rear fascia. Below them, the diffuser stretches outward like the talons of a creature that grips the ground even when airborne. It is mechanical poetry, a masterpiece of engineering wrapped in emotion.
When the car moves, the world reacts. The silhouette sharpens as air coils around its flanks, forming invisible wings. Sunlight washes across its carbon body, revealing textures that shift from matte shadows to glossy reflections. The 21-inch forged wheels spin like polished turbines, slicing through the atmosphere with frictionless confidence. Out on the open highway, the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid has a presence that feels almost unreal, as if it were sketched by imagination and then somehow made real. It commands attention, not with noise, but with aura.
The cabin of the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid is not entered, it is experienced. As the anhedral doors rise, a glow spills out from within, revealing a sanctuary sculpted for those who understand the language of speed. Carbon and Alcantara coexist in perfect balance, every surface shaped with intent. The seats, mounted directly to the carbon monocoque, cradle the driver with motorsport precision while still offering a surprising elegance. The cockpit narrows like a jet fighter, pulling focus toward the center, toward the road, the horizon, and the moment. Inside this machine, time feels slower, clearer, more deliberate.
Every element inside the cabin bends toward the driver. The digital cluster floats like a hologram, shifting its graphics based on speed, driving mode, and hybrid power flow. The steering wheel eschews unnecessary buttons, favoring purity and control. The center console flows downward like a sculpted blade, housing aviation-inspired switches that activate modes of performance. The sound insulation is tuned not to block the world, but to curate it, allowing the whisper of wind, the growl of combustion, and the hum of electric power to blend into an immersive symphony. In the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid, the cockpit becomes a companion. The materials chosen for this cabin feel almost handcrafted by time itself. The Alcantara wraps along the dashboard like a soft night sky. The carbon fiber glimmers with layered complexity, revealing microscopic patterns forged through pressure and precision. The ambient lighting flows like liquid, outlining the shapes of the cockpit with a faint pulse. Touch points feel engineered to trigger emotion. Cool metal, grippy fabric, warm light. Every component speaks the same design language. Purposeful, minimal, elegant. Sitting inside the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid is like being seated inside a vision of the future. Press the start button and the world changes. A deep mechanical note resonates, followed by the silent surge of electricity. The 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid awakens with a dual heartbeat, one of fire, one of light. The hybrid system brings instant torque, pushing the car forward with a force that feels inevitable. The V8 roars alive a heartbeat later, layering thunder over electricity. The two power sources merge into a single surge that pulls the horizon closer. Acceleration is not violent, but intentional, the kind of force that reshapes space around you. The hybrid beast is alive, and it hungers.
Turn the wheel, and the car feels telepathic. The steering is alive, transmitting micro textures of the road directly to the fingertips. The chassis is a living organism, light, responsive, and deeply connected to the driver's intent. The active Aero shifts like wings adjusting mid-flight. The hybrid torque fills gaps instantly, blending with combustion to create a seamless stream of power. Corners shrink, distances vanish. The 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid doesn't just handle, it predicts. It reacts before reaction is needed. And in that space between input and response, the driver feels something rare: absolute trust. And as the journey slows and the echoes of speed fade into silence, the 2026 McLaren P1 Successor Hyper GT Hybrid remains, a symbol of what happens when imagination refuses to obey limits. It carries the soul of the P1, yet moves with a new rhythm, a new purpose, a new identity. It is innovation wrapped in emotion, heritage reborn as electricity and fire. In the end, the car asks nothing of the world except one thing: to dream without boundaries.